Welcome back to FastMonty's Garage. As you can tell from the title of this video, it's going to be nuts because we're going to design a skid plate for my 69 GTO. And if we're successful, that same skid plate design will be able to be used on 68 through 72 GMA bodies, and you'll be able to order it directly from SendCutSend. It's a pretty cool idea, right? Now, lots to cover in this video. One, why are we doing this? Well, on my cruise back from Reno and at the hot August nights, we all rolled into a gas station, kind of uneven pavement, and you know those round covers that cover the main fuel tanks at a gas station? It's elevated off the ground. I ran right over it, hit the oil pan. Yeah, my heart almost fell out my butt, if you know what I mean. And luckily there's no major damage. If I did have major damage, I'd have to tow home 500 miles, yank the engine, because you can't just put a new pan in here. So if you have a lower GMA body, or you have an LS with a lower oil pan, or you have a race pan like I have, you probably want to pay attention to this project. Now, if you have been part of the channel, you've seen me do scanning episodes where I've used a free app on my phone, put that image into CAD, then made our part, send it to SendCutSend, we got our part. Well, I tried that already. That phone app does not work because we have to scan from rail to rail, rear of the engine, the front end of the engine. It's a big area. So I got a laser scanner from Creality. And yeah, it's not low cost, but we'll see if we get it working today. That is the mission. By the way, if I've ever helped you, consider getting a hat, shirt. Shirt links are below. Join buttons down there. All proceeds go into making videos like this, helping you guys learn faster. So, without further ado, let's get under the car. I'll show you the score mark on the oil pan, and then we'll start taking some measurements, think through this idea, see how, and scan it, get it into CAD, and hopefully get a part that works out the box. Let's go. You guys see that witness mark right there? When I got back from Reno, there was a couple drops of oil right here. I wiped it off. It's been about 3 weeks. I haven't run the car and it hasn't produced a drip yet. I don't have to pull the pan or anything. I can just seal this off with RTV. It'll be fine until I pull the engine again one day to service the engine and fix it from there. So we're good, but I don't want that to happen again. This is a pretty good view of what the oil pan looks like. Again, this is a Canton road race pan, so it's a little bit lower than stock, and it hangs below the elevation of the front cross member, but you could quite literally hit something like I did, and yeah, scary, right? So I know there's several different pans in the market. There's a wide version of this. LS pans might hang a little low, but we're gonna go ahead and get some reference points, so before we scan, we know what is level and flat, so I can reference it in CAD and see where our mounting points are. So let's get a closer look here. I know it's really hard to see, but the headers also serve as an area of protection, because if you go straight across, it's almost the same level as the oil pan, but the headers are starting to get some speed bump damage here. So another good reason to get this plate installed. Let's go look at another view. So this is promising. I'm holding my level flush up against the front cross member, which has a little bit of an angle to it. Check out that clearance. So we can actually quite literally design up like a 3/16 piece of steel to come all the way back to here, and then we could run it over to a mounting point. So if we're coming straight across, a little bit of gap, we can clear the headers. I mean, just barely. I'm sure everyone has the same style headers I have, or close to it. But if we come over here, and then we can somehow bend or put a bracket to mount to the frame right there, I think we'll be golden. Okay, you guys ready for this? I went ahead and put blue tape on my critical to scan areas, because typically of any scanner, doesn't matter if it's that free one we talked about in the last video, if scanners don't like black, shiny surfaces. So I have plenty of light, and I'm gonna get going. It takes more patience because this thing, legit scanner, needs 3,000. It can take up to 3,000 images, and that's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna go around our critical mounting surface areas, the areas we need to clear, and make sure we get all the data we can, and I'm gonna time it. So I just started the shop clock. It's at a whopping 1 minute and 20 seconds. That's probably how long I've been talking. So let's get to work. New scan. Yes, sir. That took 34 minutes to scan that, but look at all of the data we got. How crazy is it? Look at all that stuff. Now, keep in mind, this is just raw data. We still have to post-process this on the PC, so I'm gonna go do that. Oh yes, this is after post-processing. You've got to be kidding me. All right, export, and let's get it into CAD. And here we are loaded into CAD, and I know it looks totally weird. I don't know why I did this, but if I zoom in here, look, everything came in. I mean, you can see the header tubes on that side, and here's the oil pan. And first thing, priority one, is to make sure this came in to scale. So we're gonna take a measurement here. I'll grab a point on the side of the oil pan, because I know the oil pan is 10 inches wide. So grab 2 points, and here's the measurement, 10.07. That means that scanner picked up accurately what we need to do. And so now I can start spending hours on end trying to figure something out here. So I'm thinking mount to the front, mount to the frame over here, mount to the other frame. So it might take me a couple days. Let's see what happens. All right, we're back. I wanted to surprise you with this one. Check this out. Bam! Oh yeah, come on, stay there. There we go. Look at that. We got clearance around the headers. There's the headers here, both sides. It's about 1/4 inch. And the tricky part was getting this area, because this is where the headers start approaching the ground. This is upside down, and I had to figure out how to get to the frame. So there's our little segment piece, and we have a couple mounting points. We have one here, we have one on the other side, and 2 in the middle, and that should do it. So we have about 1/4 inch play in between the oil pan and the skid plate, as you can kind of see through in that gap right there. And man, this is awesome. So if you want to see it without the everything else around it, that's what she looks like. Anyone fan of Star Trek? Looks like a Klingon battleship or something. Anyway, let's go ahead and put this into load this into SendCutSend and get this made. Welcome to my favorite prototyping house, SendCutSend. They do a ton of sheet metal work. Just check this out. They can do countersinking, dimple forming now, put hardware in there, even tap holes, which we've done on previous projects. And you don't even have to have anything designed. You can actually go over to resources here and check out their templates. Like, look at all these templates you can pick from and buy your own thing. You enter your own dimensions and print them out. Like, how crazy is that? A whole bunch of different materials you can pick from, and that list seems to grow daily. Look at all this stuff. Cardboard for prototyping. You can do a 1/2 inch thick steel. So yeah, go explore the site. I love it. Go ahead and get logged in, set up an account. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Now you can see my prior projects or some in the works. You guys remember this bracket we made for my oil filter. My upper coilover mounts, those are all the pieces there. And this is gonna be one in the future, might entertain you guys. This is a fan shroud I'm working on that will be available for sale to fit bigger SPAL fans. So don't worry, we'll talk about that when we get to it. But go ahead and get your flat file that you created, upload it, it jumps over to here. Here's our Klingon battleship flattened. As you can see, it's a flat piece of steel. You can pick your between inch and metric. Stay with inch. We're gonna go ahead and pick a metal. You can do aluminum. I actually debated doing a really thin aluminum as a prototype, but I'm pretty confident with the dimensions. So go hit the steel, Mild steel 188 is actually 3/16. HRPO, that's hot rolled, peeled, and oiled. So they remove the scale and then add a little bit of oil for rust preventative. Go to the next step. And we're going to do some bending here. So they're going to ask us what we want all of our bend lines to do. And I know all my measurements are down, which is kind of convenient for me. And our first one's the front. It's going to warn you that, hey, you might have a distortion of any holes you might have cut. You can accept those warnings and enter in your angles. And once you're done with all your bends, it should look like your model. Now on the right hand side, I have the pricing grayed out because my pricing is a little bit different than the pricing you might receive. And as you add features, that price is going to change. So go to the next step and they're going to ask if you want to do finishing. Now this is something that's very important because if I end up selling this skid plate in 2025, they are going to be able to do powder coating on bigger parts. This is just size limited because this is, I don't know, almost 33 inches wide. When it's done, they can only go up to 24 inches right now. Stay tuned, come back to the site if you need bigger projects done. But once you're done here, add to cart and ship it. All right guys, on new news from SendCutSend, they couldn't make this part. I was like devastated because there are no parallel edges that they can mount their CNC bender tool to, which means, so say this bend here, it needs another edge, but the two suspect bends are here and here because there's nothing that's parallel to it. Got to do some thinking. Let's see what we come up with. All right, here's what I came up with. This was kind of relatively easy thought. I just made it chop the front nose off and now it's parallel, so parallel edge here. And on this one I added a little ledge, so this is parallel to this bend and that should be enough. I was so disappointed when I got the email from SendCutSend saying, sorry, we can't build that part. Well, but luckily Rev 2 with the flat edges, it was approved. So now we get to wait a week until I get that box. And this is a great breaking point in this video because this video basically shows you how to design, how to use the SendCutSend website and for your own projects. So knock yourself out. I'm really excited about their new storefront because any of you that want to buy a skid plate for your GMA body, it should be available there. So that's the next episode, or one of the next two episodes is unboxing that skid plate. And I'm praying it works right out of the box. And then in that video, I'll leave links to SendCutSend so you can order it directly. How beautiful is that? We're also going to do another video where I'll go into more detail about how that Creality scanner works, because I know a lot of you have ideas of your own, so you can buy your own scanner and go to town on whatever you're trying to scan. So subscribe if you haven't. Shirt, hats are available, support the channel. But other than that, until next time, building fast, driving faster. See ya.